Hello, we are Group 11. My name is Abdullah, and this is our Azure Tech demo, and we're demoing the Azure Synapse Analytics. So first, we go into the Azure Synapse Analytics page on the portal of Azure to create a new Synapse workspace. From here, we select our subscription and our resource group, and we also select our account name and our file system name, and we click on Review and Create. And once that is done, we will have a new Synapse that we can access. From here, we can see all our info, and if we access the firewall settings, we also allow Azure services and resources to access this workspace, and that results in having all of our resources from the Azure accessible through the Synapse workspace. Synapse Analytics is Microsoft's unified data. It combines the SQL querying and the Apache Spark for the big data processing, the data pipelines, and the Power BI dashboards all in one service. We picked it because our project processes traffic data from the ngSim, and our Synapse lets us query and analyze that data at scale without writing Python scripts. And if we go from the overview page and click on this link, it will open up the Synapse portal, and I'll pass it on to Alexy and he can walk you through the portal.
Hello, my name is Alexy, and I will show you how our data is connected to the Synapse workspace. So first, on the left sidebar, we will click on Data, which is the second. Afterwards, we will click on Link at the top. We will expand Azure Data Lake Storage. We will also expand ngSim Synapse 11. Afterwards, we will click on Synapse FS, which will bring us to a folder where we put our data in. We click it, and then we will see our CSV file. This is our sample data that we have used, but we have real data that is connected to the real vehicle trajectory of the US 101 freeway in Los Angeles, which was collected by the Federal Highway Administration. Afterwards, if we want to create new data, we click on New SQL Script, which is at the top of the cursor. Afterwards, we will click on Create External Table. And the Synapse will automatically generate an SQL query that we can preview, and then we can create it. If we click on Continue, it will auto-generate a query which we can use and where we can create new data. Now I will pass it on to Mohamed, who will run some real analytic queries.
Okay, so if we dive in and go to Develop, and then you can see the SQL scripts. So we already created these two scripts. So basically, script 1 query groups all the data by lane and calculates the record count, average speed, and average acceleration for each lane. In our Python project, I'd have to write a script to get this, but this one actually saves us a lot of time. And by clicking one, we'll get the results of the raw data getting actually processed and sending out new output. So as you can see here from the data, we can see the average speeds of every lane, the record count of the number of vehicles running from the stop and go. I believe that this is script 2, yeah? So all of this is running basically from the SQL scripts that you're seeing on the screen, from SQL script 1 and script 2. So you can see also having close filters for vehicles where the speed dropped below 10. Basically, you can also see the location, the labels, and everything is set up, so we don't even need to use another type of pipelines and stages. So this saves us a lot of time, as I said. So these are the vehicles that had stop and go patterns. Also, from the format of this data file, vehicles that changed lanes also gets counted into from these SQL script files. Now I'll pass it on to Malyka so she.
Okay, let me show you the other parts of Synapse Studio. This is the pipeline designer. Pipelines let you automate data workflows. Right now in our project, someone manually runs a Python command to process the data, but with a Synapse's pipeline, we could automate it. You drag activities onto the canvas. For example, copy data moves data between sources. We could set this up to copy new files from our blob storage into the data lake automatically. Each activity has configuration tabs. You set the source, the destination, and any transformations. And you can add triggers, like trigger this pipeline whenever a new file is uploaded, or just run it on a schedule. So instead of manually running our Python script, the pipeline would then handle everything automatically. Next, the Monitor Hub. This shows you all the jobs that have run. You can see our SQL queries here with their status, duration, and how much data they processed. This is useful for tracking what's running, checking for failures, and seeing performance. Everything is logged automatically. Next, under Manage, you configure compute resources. The built-in SQL pool is the serverless one we've been using. It's always available, no setup needed, and you just pay per query. If we needed Apache Spark for running Python notebooks on a cluster, we'd create a Spark pool here. You pick the node size and count, and Synapse manages the cluster. And link services is where you connect external data sources. Our data lake storage is linked here. We could also link our original blob storage account, a database, or other Azure services. So to wrap up, Synapse gives us SQL for instant data analysis, Spark for distributed processing, pipelines for automation, and monitoring built in. It all connects to our existing storage and would be the natural next step for scaling our ngSim project. Thanks for watching.